Hi, CrossFit Sailmore Legends. Today, on the first episode of our movement videos, we'll want to be covering the points of performance and common faults of the air squat. We've got 5 points of performance on the air squat, and on more advanced squatting movements, these 5 will still be applicable, just with a couple of added extra ones for something specific to that exercise, like front squats and an overhead squat. Now, the difference between a good technique on a squat is nailing these points of performance, and bad technique is any deviation from this. So we are going to go through each one and visually demonstrate good technique and bad technique. And we are going to start off with the first one, lumbar curve maintained, which is midline stability. If you think of your core muscles around your spine, they are trying to resist movement. So a common fault of this would be rounding of the back. Here is a visual demonstration of both good technique and bad technique with lumbar curve maintained. For the second point of performance, which is weight on heels. This doesn't necessarily mean we want to be fully pushing through the heels. We want to be flat-footed. But more commonly, people will be toe heavy and the heels will come up off the floor. By being toe heavy, not only are we missing out on certain muscles working, but it will also increase shear force on the knee, which might increase injury. So by pushing through the heels, we will be bringing in the posterior chain muscles, hamstrings, glutes, back extensors, etc. Here is a visual demonstration of both good and bad technique. The third point of performance is hip crease below knees, which is full squat depth. This is what we want to be striving to achieve on every single rep, and we want to ensure we are squat to full depth before we increase any weights. Here is a visual demonstration of both good and bad technique on squat depth. The fourth point of performance is initiate with hips back and down. This is a bit of core to extremity, common movement theme, but it's using large muscles before the smaller muscles, and also a bit of line of action. By sending the hips back and down, we are already getting the weight on the heels and bringing in that posterior chain. Here was a visual demonstration of good and bad technique. The final point performance for the air squat is knees tracking toes. Now, with an air squat, we want the feet about shoulder width and toes are slightly pointed out. So we are wanting the knees staying in line with the toes. A common fault in this is knees caving in at the bottom of the squat, and we are trying to kind of exaggerate it by forcing the knees out and keeping the stronger movements function. Here's a visual demonstration of both good and bad technique.